Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking It Down. I'm your host, HVC Luke, current head coach and RLCS coach at Havoc Esports. And today we got something special for you. We got SSL 2v2 here today, and the player that we're going to be analyzing is Red Snow. Very amazing player. He's top one. He's currently top 100 in the world in 1v1 and 1900 or SSL in 2v2. And his opponents and teammates are nothing to scoff at either. We see BU on the other team. He's made RLCS main events in North America under NXT, under DVS, and is currently on the Limitless organization. And we see Repeat and Brock too, who are both rank A players or have gotten rank A in the past. And I'm just excited to get into this video. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So the main reason why we're going to be looking at 2v2s today is to overall show the concepts of why 2v2s is important for 3s. As a lot of people say, oh, you want to get better at 3s, you should play ranked 3v3, but that's actually not the case. Ranked 3s is actually a hodgepodge of people that, ooh, that's a brilliant shot there from Brock. Not much that Snow could have done. But 3v3s overall is not the best game mode to improve. You don't get much time on the ball. It's a lot slower than 2v2, and it overall forms a lot of bad habits because you can get a lot of teammates that ball chase. You aren't able to really get much time on the ball. You have to execute on a lot of poor plays because of your teammates overall. Rank 3s just isn't good because at the highest level you don't get double commits. You don't get as many double commits. You don't get people who give away the ball for free as much. You don't get teammates who cut you off in unnecessary situations. Rank 3s just overall forms a lot of bad habits, but in 2s we can see a lot more. In 2s, we can see overall a lot more speed. You get a lot more time on the ball, and overall, it teaches you the ideas of adaptation and individual skill, which is so needed at the high level 3s game. And that's why 2s is so important because a lot of people think that 3s is just a very structured rotation. It isn't. If you look at pro gameplay, there is a structure there, but there's also a lot of adaptation, and that's what 2v2s teaches. It teaches you how to support your teammate well, it teaches you how to do something that with the ball as efficiently as possible, and overall allows you to play at a higher pace of the game that rank 3s just doesn't teach you. And that first goal, of course, we saw was it was just overall a really good goal there from Brock. He was able to get a very good solo play. Repeat couldn't make the save. Snow couldn't really do anything. It was just a good outplay from Brock. It's something you shouldn't have to think on too much. You got scored on once, it doesn't really matter. But here we're gonna let this play go through just for a second here, so we can analyze what happens here. As you can see, Red Snow and Repeat ended up getting a goal here, but how they got the goal is brilliant. Because as you can see, you would think that Repeat managed to do all that work, but actually this goal all stemmed from Red Snow here. So we can go back here just for a bit. It all starts right here. So as we can see, Snow's on low boost. He's trying to grab pads, but look at his positioning. You think like, oh, if his teammate has the ball, maybe what we should do is go and grab boost, right? A lot of players in this situation would probably just try and grab boost in the situation, right? You would be like, oh, our teammate has the ball, let's just go to the big boost and then go back into net, right? But that, of course, leaves his teammate alone, right? Because if Repeat takes possession and Snow leaves him, Repeat is now alone for a second, and one mistake could lead to a goal for the other team. So, the idea that Snow abides by here is if your teammate has possession, support him facing forward from behind. As you can see, even on low boost, he supports his teammate as quickly as he can because he knows his teammate has possession. And it's something that if you're in your own 2v2 games, if your teammate has possession, support him from behind facing the play. It's overall a really good thing to do because if you're not supporting your teammate, he's not going to be able to do as much overall with the ball. As we can see here, Repeat ends up giving away possession though. So that was a mistake from Repeat, but look at Snow. He supports, but this is the adaptation principle that we just talked about. Right after his teammate gives away the ball, he recognizes, oh, our teammate doesn't have the ball. I can't support him anymore. What is my new job? My new job is to cover net. As you can see here, he backs up in a net as best he can. He reads where the shot's going, and then he puts it away from the opponent here. Look at how much Snow does here. Not only does he recognize that Repeat gives away the ball, and he backs up in a net, but look at where his next touch goes. He puts it away from his teammate, because Brock's right here, right? So he puts it to the right side of the field in a spot where he can follow it, right? So Snow hits this ball away. He's able to follow it, and now he grabs the big boost. Look at that. Free possession here from Snow. He manages to get the ball. He manages to get possession. He gets the 50 mid. He passes it to his teammate, and then Repeat's able to get the goal. But it all started with Red Snow. It all started with some brilliant positioning, a good touch away from his opponents, and then possession. Possession is the name of the game in 2v2s, 1s, and 3s. If you can't take possession, you can't do anything. And look how he does it, too. He gets a great 50-50 to force it mid, but not in a spot where the opponents can clear it. He reads the opponent, passes it to his teammate, and then all Repeat has to do is try and force a solo play on the net, which he's able to score. None of that would have happened if it weren't for Red Snow. So overall, that was a good play. And as we can see, Snow's about to get scored on again from the other team this time. But we have to analyze what is going on here, right? So as we can see, BU, he ends up getting a flip reset over Snow. He fakes it under his teammate, and that ends up leading to a goal. So now we have to analyze what went wrong here, what went right here overall in this play. So there's two concepts to any aerial that you have to be able to understand. Whenever your opponent is aerialing towards your net, you have to ask yourself two questions. One, is the aerial scary? Like, is the person with the ball able to score currently? Right? Which, if we ask ourselves that question right now, is BU able to score right now? The answer is no. Right now, he's not influencing our defense in any way. All he's doing is aerialing the ball. It's essentially a useless aerial. He's taken the ball down the field, so it's not completely useless, but he's not able to score yet. That's the first question we have to ask ourselves, is that. The second one we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to challenge this ball, or are we going to rotate back? Right? And in this situation, Repeat was rotating back, right? So in this situation, Repeat is going to cover net, and Snow is going to be the one who has to force the ball. So those are the two questions we have to ask ourselves. One, is it scary? And two, is it a situation where we challenge or we have to rotate back? Which in this situation, Snow's going to be the one challenging. But now here's the problem. We have to see how do we challenge the ball? Now, we know we have to challenge the ball, but how do we challenge the ball correctly? There's two things that we have to understand on an aerial challenge in order to execute it properly. One, we only should challenge if it's scary here, right? Which, as we can see, Snow ends up messing up on here. Even though it's not scary situation, Snow ends up jumping really early, which allows BU to not only get it over him, but allows him to get it around his teammate as well. So that's the main problem right there. So he messed up on how early he challenged. What he should have done, if we look at this play here from a different perspective, is he should have rotated a little bit further along, and then let's say BU got to this point with the flip reset, where he's now able to score, or he's able to pass it, that's where Snow can now challenge the ball, right? But as we can see here, Snow jumps really early, BU easily beats him and keeps possession, and then he's able to either pass it or shoot it past his teammate, which in this case, he faked it, and he managed to get the goal. But of course, I said there's two parts to an aerial. And the other part, Snow actually did properly. This other principle in challenging the ball in the air is known as forcing the ball high. Of course, Snow's coming from under the ball, so that means he's forcing BU to go over him, right? And overall, that means there's only one way for the ball to go, right? If he forces high, the ball can only go up, right? Now, he ended up doing it so far up the field that BU was able to get possession over him, and then his challenge didn't matter. But let's say Snow does it from where he should have, a little bit closer to the net here, and then he forces high. BU has only one option to go. He can either go straight into Snow, where Snow can win the 50-50, or the more likely option, he will force it high to the backboard, right? And as you can see, there's only one direction the ball's going the entire time when you force it high. But now let's look at the contrast of the situation. Let's say Snow forces low. Let's say he goes above the ball in this situation. When that happens, of course, BU goes into the air, right? But once he's forced low, that's one momentum change that Repeat on defense has to read. So that's two directions the ball's gone in the last couple seconds. But BU can also get a flip reset here, right? So if he gets a flip reset, now he's going down, and now he has two options, or he has three options, as a matter of fact. He can pass it to Brock, he can fake it and go low like he did on this play, or he can flick it high, resulting in a third momentum change. So as you can see here, that's a lot more difficult to read than if Snow just forces high and the ball just goes in one direction. And that's one thing you have to remember. If you're challenging the ball, you want to make it as easy as possible for your teammate to get the ball. Which in this situation, he messed up on one principle. He jumped too early. That was where he messed up, right? It wasn't a scary situation. He should have waited and then jumped when it was a scary situation. But the thing where he did right on was he did force high. As you can see, he did force high here, but since he didn't do the other principle of waiting for it to be scary, it ended up being a useless challenge, and that's how BU was able to get the goal. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody, but without further ado, let's get further on into this game here. Still, overall, a really solid play there from BU as well, though. Because, of course, he sees that Snow challenged him early, he flicks it over, and he maintains possession. But it just goes to show, 2v2s, it's very high-paced, and the mechanics are insane. So if you want to go pro, you got to be able to play 2s and grind that to your heart's content. But here we go. Here's another principle where we can see Snow as second man. He's supporting, right? His teammate has possession, so what is he doing? He's facing the ball, right? He watches this play the entire time. He managed to get a good 50-50, and his team's able to maintain possession. And here we go. He takes possession. He looks for a B on BU. He gets a 50-50 almost. And overall, it allows his teammate to get back on the ball. And overall, it was a good sequence here from Snow and Repeat. They weren't able to get a goal out of it, but it goes to show overall why supporting by facing the play is a very important aspect of the game, right? Because if we go back to the situation beforehand, if Snow is backwards to this ball, right? Let's say Snow is facing this direction. The other team has nothing to worry about, right? All they have to do is say, "Oh, Snow is facing away from the ball." We can, instead of Snow having an opportunity to win this 50 to the corner, if he's facing backwards, he can't turn on this ball. So all Brock or B would have to do is just go for the ball and take possession. And now it could be a one-on-one or a 2v1 on Snow. So that's why support Snow this entire time supports. But there's another aspect, right? Remember, we've been talking about adaptation and reading the play. In this situation, let's slow down the play so you guys can see. Let's slow it down. Oh, excuse me. I think it's... no, it's still... Okay, here we go. We slow down this play. He's supporting, right? In this situation, we can see that nothing scary is going to happen, right? Brock's taking possession that way, and BU, even if he goes for this ball, the ball's only going to get hit off the sidewall, right? We can read the play that this ball is not going to get cleared. So you don't have to worry about the clear hitting it over your head, right? So that means the only thing you should have to watch is if the ball gets hit off the backboard, your teammate shoots it, or if the ball spills out mid, which as we can see from this play, the ball spills out mid, which in this situation, Snow reads the play. Oh, Brock is getting a 50-50 here. So instead of going for a shot, Snow goes for possession. If you can't score, the next best thing is always possession, which in this situation, he puts it to the corner. He grabs the boost, and now he has possession, which he allows to put a shot almost on target. He tries to look for a shot on target. BU gets a great save, but since he made it awkward for the other team, he allows Repeat to go, he gets the boost, and now they're still on offense. As we can see here, so here we go, this is a very safe play for Snow here. The reason why he does it is because he wants to allow Repeat to get some boost. But the more optimal play I feel here is based on one's principle. Look how much space BU and Brock's giving him, and look how much boost Snow has. I would have loved if Snow went for a slow play here, went for an air dribble, went for something similar to that. Because if he went for an air dribble in this situation, he would have been able to, it would have still allowed Repeat to grab boost and come back in the play. But more importantly, he's not giving away the ball here for free. Because if we watch this play, look how easy it is for Brock to just get a free possession. He just reads the ball at the back ball, and he ends up giving it to the other team, so it was a mistake from Brock. But as you can see, the situation ends up being pretty easy for Brock and B to deal with, and they just keep taking possession until they eventually get this goal right here. So as we can see, we could probably call this a mistake right here from Snow. He goes for a weak shot and ends up giving away the ball for free, but it all stemmed initially with this giveaway possession right here, right? He could have taken to an air dribble, he could have taken his time, but instead he just gives away the ball, and then it led to the other team taking a free possession for the most part. And then that's what led to the situation where he finds himself in, where he tries to think he has to force himself on the ball. He gives it away to the other team, and again, it's a goal. So that's two instances in a row where he gave the ball away to the other team, and that's what led to the goal. It's never just one problem that normally happens. It's normally multiple problems within the same aspect range that allows a goal to happen, which, as we can see, allowed their third goal to happen. And we could talk about in this situation this is something more for your gameplay, where if you guys can't take possession, you're on low boost or it's very awkward. If you can't get a good shot on target or you can't take possession, the next best thing to do, the safe option to do, is put the ball high and lofty, which in this situation, if you put it high and lofty, BU would be forced to use boost. Snow could have recovered and rotated out. Repeat could have grabbed boost and supported here on this ball, and there wouldn't be a fast counterattack, right? But since Snow put a bad shot on target, BU got a free possession, and that's where the fast counterattack came in. Right. But overall, that's being a little bit nitpicky. It all started initially with, of course, Snow giving away the ball when he had boost and when he had time on the ball. But still, overall, it's solid stuff here from Snow, and I can't wait to see how this next goal goes in. So here we go. Snow forces high. So here we go. So this is something where we can see the difference, right? Where even though Rocket League is a very different game, this is actually a scary situation here for the team. Why does Snow jump here? Why is it good that he jumped here? It's essentially the same spot that he jumped earlier, but why was it bad earlier and why is it good now? This is where it takes thinking and adaptation to what happened on the play. So in this situation, this play is a really fast play, right? Brock can actually put this off the backboard and shoot it really quickly can and do just overall. It's a very fast play, right? So in this situation, remember what we talked about, right? There's two principles. Is it a scary situation? One, and two, are you challenging or are you rotating back? As we see here, we can tell Repeat is going to be the one who's going to go back. So that means Snow is the challenger. So now we have to ask ourselves, is it a scary situation? Here, Brock has a lot of momentum. He has a lot of boost. So yes, this is a scary situation. So now that we decided that we have to challenge, now there's only one thing. We have to force high, which, as we can see here, Snow forces high, and then it goes to the backboard, and Repeat has a free touch that Snow is able to follow here. So that is the difference. Earlier on in the earlier play, it wasn't a scary situation, and his challenge ended up being useless. But in this situation, it was scary. He had to challenge, and then he ended up forcing it high to the backboard, and this time it ended up working. So that's where it goes. It shows very small margins here at high level 2v2, at SSL 2v2, between what is a goal and what isn't a goal. In that situation, Snow played it perfectly. But of course, earlier on, even though he jumped from the same spot, just based on one small thing, that it wasn't a scary situation, that ended up leading to a goal with his earlier challenge. But overall, some very solid stuff here from Snow. Oh, as I say that, he ends up getting that touch. But as we can see here, the high level game is a very complex thing, but if we can iron it out, if we can understand some basic principles and patterns, it might be able to allow you guys to learn how to think on your own, be creative, use your imagination to be able to go up the rank ladder yourself. Because at the end of the day, learning how to think is how you go pro. If you look at pros, they know how to think. But of course, you're at your own 1600, you're at your plat, you're at your bronze gameplay. People can barely touch the ball. Some people may know how to touch the ball, but they don't know how to think, and that's what's stopping them from going pro or even getting SSL. But here we go here. As we can see, this last goal, Snow actually plays it really well here. He tries to force ball here, so he can't challenge this, right? BU would just flick it over him, so he fake challenges and baits BU into a touch, but then he ends up mistouching here, and he goes straight to Brock. Of course, what Snow wanted to do here, what he wanted to do was try and catch the ball with the back of his car right here. And then what he could have done is he could have gone right around the ball and taken a possession past Brock. But he ends up backflipping on accident. And that's what ends up leading to the pass to Brock and the goal eventually. But thank you so much to everybody who's watched this new episode of Breaking It Down. We're going to be trying to get some weekly content out here for you guys at Havoc Esports. There'll be some Breaking It Down. There'll be some other episodes. But without further ado, that's going to be the end of our SSL 2v2 for today. So I want to thank Red Snow, Top 100 Ones player, for submitting this replay to me for me to be able to analyze. And I hope next Breaking It Down, maybe we can see some lower level gameplay where we can kind of try and see if we can match these thinking concepts to some lower level gameplay. Without further ado, though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much here for watching Havoc Esports. Your host, HVC Luke, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Have a great night, everybody.